Where are
Uh,
you?
I'd like to start with a question. What do you know about Russia?
Russia.
Russia.
I have heard of Stalin Square, and about communist Russia long back as a child. My father used to get some Soviet Union magazines at home. Being a teacher, I was also able to read those. When I went to Gulf countries, I met so many people from Russia, and I had a lot of friends, Russian friends as well. Now I am back in Kerala, in India, my native place, working on a project to help Indian universities come up to the level of global universities. Your
Thank
next
you.
question? Yeah.
Thank you.
Next question, please.
Now we want to tell you about Russia.
Please go ahead.
We have a presentation for you.
Great. Please go ahead. Federation of Russia. Good.
Russian Federation is a country situated in Eurasia. In the east, Russia is washed by the Pacific Ocean, in the north by the Arctic Ocean. In the south, there are Asian countries, and in the west, there is Europe. Russia is famous for many things, but the fact that everybody knows is that Russia has the largest territory in the world. It reaches 17 million 100,000 square kilometers, what is more
Mm.
than one-eighth of the Earth's inhabited land area. To help you to understand how much it is, I can say that it is almost two thirds of the Brazil. Another fact that can help you to imagine the size of Russia is that there are 11 time zones. For example, when it is 7 o'clock in the morning in the most west Russian region, Kaliningrad region, it's already 5 p.m. in the most east one, Chukotsky Autonomous District.
The capital city of Russia is Moscow. It is the largest metropolitan area in Europe and one of the largest cities in the world. Other
Mhm.
big cities are St. Petersburg, Novosibirsk, Yekaterinburg, and Nizhny Novgorod. The population of Russia is about 144 million people. 81% of it are Russians. About 77% of population live in the western part of the country. Russia, as every country, has its official symbols, the emblem and the flag. The Russian flag has 300-year history, and the 22nd of August is its official day. It consists of three colors, white, blue, and red. The white color symbolizes peace, purity, perfection. Blue, the color of faith, fidelity, and constancy. Red, energy, power, and blood shed for the fatherland.
Mhm.
The emblem looks like a red square shield. There is two-headed eagle on it. Two small crowns are on its heads and one big between them. The scepter and the orb are in its hands. On the chest you can see the picture of the silver horseman killing the black dragon.
Okay.
Not surprisingly, there are a lot of attractions on this large territory. Now, I'd like to tell you about the most popular among them. Moscow Kremlin and the Red Square are the most recognizable symbols of Russia.
Mhm.
Uh, they are situated in Moscow. The Kremlin is the fortress in the center of the in the city, and its oldest part. It is also the main social, political, and historical artistic complex of the city, the main residence of the president. The Red Square, which used to be a place for shopping, is now a UNESCO heritage site. There are a lot of historical monuments, so it attracts thousands of tourists from all over the world.
Mhm.
The Hermitage is one of the biggest museums of art in the world. It is situated in St. Petersburg. The private collection of the Russian Empress Ekaterina II served as a beginning of the museum. The Hermitage counts about 2 million of artworks and historical monuments. Um, it was opened in 1852 and since then attracts millions of arts art lovers and ordinary people every year. It is in the uh, 20 most visited world museums.
Mhm. Good.
The Lake Baikal. The lake is situated in the south part of eastern Siberia. It is the deepest lake in the world and the biggest pond of fresh water. Uh, Baikal and Nobi territories have unique nature which cannot be met somewhere else. They are very beautiful and also attract thousands of tourists every year. The lake is so big that the locals call it Sea Baikal.
When we travel, we always buy some souvenirs to bring them back home. They help us to remember about our adventures and they are very good presents for your relatives and friends. Here are some souvenirs that you can bring from Russia. Matryoshka. Matryoshka is a wooden toy covered with beautiful paintings. Its feature is that it consists of a lot of smaller toys put inside of each other.
Right.
Traditionally, it looks like a woman in a shawl, but now you can find matryoshkas with different drawing on them. You'll definitely like this.
Tulski pryanik or a gingerbread from the city of Tula is another good idea for a souvenir. It is covered with glaze and has jam or cream inside. On the surface, it has beautiful and fancy flower drawings with some inscription. Tulski pryanik is a very interesting thing to get as a souvenir, even for Russian people.
Mhm. Good.
Valenki will not be only a nice souvenir, but also can be very useful in snowy and cold weather. Valenki is a footwear made from sheep's wool. They are extremely warm and can easily protect you from the severest Russian winter. Traditionally, they are brown, black, gray, or white, but modern ones can be of any color you want.
Mhm. Good.
Now I want to tell you about Russian cuisine. The first dish that is very famous all over the world is borscht. Although
Uh-huh.
borscht is a Ukraine food, national food, and the birthplace of it is also Ukraine. Russians love it so much that it can be called Russian too. Uh,
Okay. Continue.
Borscht is a kind of soup that can't be messed up with any kinds of soup. If you see a soup of strong red color, you can be sure that it is borscht.
Okay.
This strong red color is given to borscht by one of its ingredients, beetroot.
Uh-uh.
Other vegetables like onion, carrot, cabbage are in the list of its ingredients too.
Mhm.
Borscht is always eaten with sour cream, but is also tasty without it.
Okay.
If you have a chance to taste borscht, you should definitely do it.
I will when I come over.
The next Russian national dish is
Pelmeni.
pelmeni, yes.
Mhm.
Um, um, the birthplace of this dish is one of the Russians region, the Urals. Uh, Pelmeni is a very simple dish. It's a portion of meat wrapped
Mhm.
with dough. But no matter how simple it is, It's very tasty. Pelmeni
Okay.
is always sitting with a spoon because the water it is boiled in is also tasty.
Okay.
Uh, Not less interesting is the process of cooking pelmeni. Even a big family gathers together to cook pelmeni and then eat. Um, the next dish is pierogi. Pierogi is described as truly Russian and of a big importance for the nation.
Mhm.
Pierogi is also a portion of some filling wrapped with dough, but this time filling can be very various, from sugar and jam to meat, fish, onion with eggs.
Is it stuffed inside?
What?
Is it stuffed inside pierogi?
Yes, yes, it is.
Good.
Um, Pierogi can serve well as a main dish for every kind of meal.
Yeah, and healthy too. Rich and healthy. Good.
hmm Uh, in some families in Russia, the recipe of pierogi it goes from generation to generation.
Naturally, such tasty dishes should be handed down through generations.
hmm Um, and pierogi is always cooked on holidays, and that's all.
Okay, for celebrations, right?
hmm Yes. Uh, 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 I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Of course, these dishes are not all the Russian cuisine, and if you want to find something that you will like, you will be able to do it.
Okay, good.
And that's all what we wanted to tell you about Russia. Now, there is a simple test for you. The first
Okay.
question is name some cities of Russia that you can remember.
Do you remember any cities? Maybe the capital of Russia?
Kremlin, Kremlin,
Uh, no, it's the place there. Moscow. Yeah?
yes.
Moscow. St. Petersburg, Moscow.
Yeah, okay, I remember. Yeah, thank you. Saint Petersburg. Okay, official symbols of Russia. I remember in the flag there is a horse killing a dragon, a soldier killing a dragon on a horse, then two eagles. What
Yes,
else?
you're right.
Oh, okay, yeah. The color represents peace, white, and then red for vigor. Name square in Moscow. I'm 67 years young, tends to forget. Okay, Red Square. Okay, thank you. Baikal.
Yes, you're right. Baikal, yeah. Yes, Baikal.
Okay. They call it Sea Baikal. So big, right?
Right.
Yeah, souvenirs I can buy is that toy. I forgot the name, which has baby toys inside. Similar ones.
It is matryoshka, you're right.
Yeah. And of course, the bread. Oh.
Тульский пряник and валенки.
Okay. Yeah. Matryoshka, I remember. By the way, the lady sitting beside me, She is into fashion designing and she teaches tailoring online. And this year, we will be connecting with students like you, and then collaboratively, we'll presenting at Global Education Conference. I plan to connect you with students here, students your age and stage, so that both parties together can present at Global Education Conference.
We will discuss it later.
Yeah. So thank you very much for having me. And here is my friend Nirmala Gayathri, a fashion designer and an educator, basically.
Okay.
Thank you very much for having me.
Goodbye. Thank
Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
you.
Bye.